Thank you very much, dear Mr. President, Mr. Secretary General, Honorable Vice Presidents, dear participants. At the outset, allow me to thank you for this kind invitation. As a person sharing the same ideals and values of Socialist International, I feel privileged to be able to address this meeting of distinguished members of the Presidium. In late 1980s, I was the first leader in my community that made an application on behalf of my political party to become a member of Socialist International. During that time, the political landscape did not allow for our membership. However, I am now very happy to see that two Turkish Cypriot political parties that represent the left and the Social Democrats in North Cyprus are now members. Therefore, coming from the same background as you, I believe it will be appropriate for me to call you my comrades. At a time when our world goes through yet another difficult period of conflicts, instability, and threats, we cannot turn a blind eye and claim to lead content lives. The disparity between the rich north and the poor south grows, while on the other hand, our earth is vulnerable to greatest environmental catastrophes in our history. Despite our best efforts, bloodshed, spread of contagious diseases, starvation and refugee problems in our region, as well as places like Myanmar, are still a grim reality in the 21st century. These facts once again prove to us how we truly need a world order based on peace, social justice, and social democratic principles. Through the eyes of a Turkish Cypriot, perhaps our most urgent wish is to see an end to the bloody conflict and humanitarian disaster in our region, namely in the Middle East. Through our intensive efforts during the last 2 years of negotiations to find a solution to the Cyprus problem, our goal was not only to prepare a better future for our communities in Cyprus in the form of a bizonal bicommunal federation based on political equality, but also to serve as an example to other regions of conflict. It would have indeed been a unique illustration of cooperation between two communities of different ethnic background, religion, and language. New areas of cooperation in various sectors, such as energy and shipping, would have been possible in our region, where interdependence and cooperation rather than tension and instability would have been the new norm. We also thought that eventual success of our hard work would also have a positive impact in the relationship between Greece and Turkey. In this context, please allow me to pay tribute to the memory of late Mr. Ismail Cem, the then Foreign Minister of Turkey, who, together with Mr. Papandreou, have done their utmost to bring closer the people of these two neighbors, which have close links with the Turkish Cypriot and Greek Cypriot communities of Cyprus. I remain convinced that through the eventual solution of the Cyprus problem, this vision shall become a reality. Furthermore, a solution to the Cyprus problem would also help improve the deteriorating relations between Turkey and the European Union. Dear comrades, distinguished participants, the talks to find a solution to the Cyprus problem, which define the lives of our generation, as well as that of our children, started back in 1968 in Beirut. We are talking about 50 years of negotiations without a tangible result for our people. It is clear to us that this process cannot be allowed to continue for another 50 years. As the two sides in Cyprus, we indeed managed to achieve numerous convergences across all chapters of our negotiations. Only 2 months ago, there was a significant opportunity to reach a mutually acceptable strategic agreement on major outstanding issues in Crans-Montana, Switzerland, where we held the final session of the conference on Cyprus. As the Turkish Cypriot side, we worked very hard for the convening of this five-party conference, and we maintained that this conference was the venue for the sides to show the necessary political determination rather than yet another round of open-ended negotiations. The UN Secretary General, Mr. Guterres, who also served as the president of your esteemed organization, personally got involved and came up with a framework with a view to circumscribe our differences and make compromise easier through a package approach. As the Turkish Cypriot side, we took bold steps with the understanding that our steps would be reciprocated. However, we did not see the same political will and determination from our counterparts. We unfortunately could not walk the last mile. The conference ended without any positive outcome. While we reflect on the past process, we must now also plan the way forward. However, the upcoming presidential elections in early 2018 on the Greek Cypriot side make it much more difficult to plan ahead. It would be reasonable to say that a new process amidst the political campaigning in the South would not be conducive for the necessary compromises. At the same time, these elections will be an opportunity for the Greek Cypriot community to decide what they truly understand from a just, sustainable, and mutually acceptable settlement in our island. Dear friends, although my aim is not at all to engage in a blame game, our experience showed us that a significant part of the Greek Cypriot community is still, unfortunately, not ready to digest the power-sharing arrangements that are necessary for a settlement based on the political equality of the two communities on our island. Such was the case in 2004, when the UN Comprehensive Settlement Plan was rejected by the Greek Cypriot with 76 no votes. The then Secretary General of the United Nations, Mr. Annan, described this in his report to the Security Council as a demonstration that Greek Cypriot side were not ready to share power and prosperity with the Turkish Cypriots in a federal structure based on political equality. Dear friends, regarding the future attempts aimed at solving the Cyprus issue, one thing is clear. Employing the same open-ended, unfruitful modalities and approaches of the past and expecting different results will not be realistic. Therefore, after the elections of the Greek Cypriot leader in early next year, it is imperative that we devise a time-bound, result-oriented process which will not allow the repetition of the past mistakes. At the same time, I very much wish and hope that the election period in the South proves instrumental in achieving the necessary mental transformation in the Greek Cypriot community. It is my duty to convey to you the proven will of the Turkish Cypriot community, which is to live in harmony and peace with their neighbors. We are aware that we cannot change our geography. In our small island, we need to find ways to peacefully coexist. We are also aware this can only be possible through mutual understanding and agreement and dialogue. Our hope and expectation from Sosyalist Enternasyonal is your continued interest and support. Meanwhile, while we reflect on the next steps, as called for by the UN Secretary General, we call upon the international community to take the necessary measures to end the unwarranted isolation of the Turkish Cypriots in the international fora. similar to how Socialist International incorporated 2 Turkish Cypriot political parties to its membership. All international actors must see the fact that allowing Turkish Cypriots to directly communicate with their counterparts in other organizations does not harm the endeavors to find a settlement in Cyprus. In this context, I must also underline our disappointment and outrage at attempts aimed at hindering our harmonization process with the European Union and our communication with the rest of the world. Preventing our society from becoming more European and forming even stronger democratic institutions cannot benefit any honorable cause. Dear friends, dear comrades, in closing, allow me to underline that as long as a problem exists, the quest to bring about a solution shall continue. We shall continue our endeavors without rest to achieve a mutually acceptable, sustainable, peaceful solution to the Cyprus problem. Thank you all.